Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I start. My name is Mila Fauziah, T 2019-6088. In here, I would like to explain about my article, and the title is Digital Literacy for Secondary School Students Using Computer Technology to Educate About Credibility of Content Online. Introduction. In most societies, schools are responsible for the teaching and development of literacy skills. Different studies of literacy have highlighted the importance of investigating how literacies differ across contexts. And here is extensive research on literacy in outside of schools. And the introduction of personal laptops with internet access in the classroom has weakened the boundary between personal and school literacies, and constitutes a new kind of literacy context worth it investigating further. The aim of the present study is to contribute the permitting school contexts that are mediated by classroom internet access. In this paper, we present novel approaches for educating secondary school students about the origins of offline and misinformation, promoting greater scrutiny of the credibility of sources, and in particular the proposal offered integrated techniques for analyzing contents. And enabling engaging interaction and revealing key examples. It's all constructed from computer science methodology. In this article, the article investigates how the vernacular literacies again train within the school's paradigm, and by examining which literacy practice students engage in while the teacher in different subjects are giving digital presentations, and whether these literacies are dominant or vernacular. This is an important issue because it addresses what kind of contributions to the classroom practice and the laptop might be providing students engage in a range of literacy practice mediated by laptops outside of schools. And now they have a laptop they can use inside school as well, but there is little systematic research about exactly how these laptops are integrated in the school's discourse. Norway is the first country in Europe to introduce curriculum-specific digital skills as one of 5 basic skills across subjects, which makes it interesting to study these issues. In a Norwegian context, the data for the present study was collected in January 2011 at a popular upper secondary school in Oslo. The school's entrance requirements are high. Consequently, students and these schools have above average grades. And the data comprise video recordings, a collection of artifacts from the classroom, such as textbooks, teachers' PowerPoints, student notes, assessment, and another. However, and qualitative interviews with students, 4 students were recorded during 16 lessons in the subject history, 4 lessons, Norwegian 8 lessons, and religion and ethics 4 lessons. During a period of 3 genders, 2 boys and 2 girl, and location in the classroom so that the cameras would be spread in the front, middle, and back of the room. Teachers were encouraged to suggest students respondent that together would be somewhat representative for the free working methods of the class, and that had a record of low absence in their subjects. All students and teachers were informed in writing that the project was about reading text and what kind of role text play in school subjects. Students and teachers who appear in the film gave their written consent to participate. The interviewed students are called Steins, Andreas, Heda, and Thomas. I have also changed the names of their teachers. In this article, the focus of analysis in literacy practice connected to the teachers' use of digital presentations. All students' activity was recorded using a small head-mounted camera similar to a headlamp. This provides a clear record of what each student spent here or her time doing during each lessons, what text they read, how often they engage in different literacy events, and what characteristic the different subjects in this class. The concept of literacy practice implies and discuss above feelings and attitudes that cannot be observed or documented directly by a video camera. A still picture of predominant literacy events from the recordings were therefore combined with textual activates as a basic for interviewing the four students in pairs. And finding and discussions in this article, we begin by commenting on the possible rules for educators when students are introduced to the content we propose above. We then provide specific ideas for the placement of our educational modules, and we discuss a few specific online contexts to present to students in order to educate them about sorts of misinformation. And first of all, we delve into the content over fake reviews, which may be prevalent in online shopping context. And the second related issue is the presence of sponsored advertising and the need for students to discern when content is being directed at user for a reason of financial gain. And finally, we highlight possible deception that may occur from hoaxes prepared online in context such as YouTube, which is also very popular with young people. And last, maybe in the conclusion and recommendation for the future, the study presented in this article is a small qualitative study, but the findings are consistent with those of large international studies. They show that the link between the dominant school practice and the new ICT technology in the educational settings. A best tenuous one. I agree that this use the computer as a supplement to the regular interaction. However, the study have their own vernacular practice concerning the use of the same technology, which they bring to schools and wherever they go. This means that if schools fail to create the need of relevant educational interest, internet-based practice, the students will continue to use the internet mainly for their personal vernacular practice. Even at schools, this also implies that the students might lack experience with academic literacy practice that they will encounter in higher education and elsewhere. And then they will need to learn how to engage in literacy practice revolving around teaching sequences using digital support. Uh, Maybe that's all my explanation about my article. Uh, Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.